Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that I have gotten from Beebeecraft. I'll put a link in the description box below to the Beebeecraft homepage in case you want to check them out and make an order with them. I have a coupon code, it's Teresa10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below. That'll save you 10% off your order if you make an order with them. In here I've got the AB electroplated rondelle beads. They're 7.5 to 8 by 6 millimeters, and the color is pearl pink that I got from Beebeecraft. It says pearl pink, but there were all kinds of pretty colors in here. There were some clear ones and transparent pink ones and opaque pink ones and sort of some opaque, sort of creamy colored ones, just all kinds of pretty colors in here. And I picked out these sort of peach colored ones. And I only have a half what I need to make my necklace in these little trays. I've already got half of it made like I usually do. And here are the Honey Handy electroplated opaque faceted barrel beads. They're 8 by 8 millimeter and the color is Peach Puff that I got from Beebeecraft. And here are some 6 millimeter pink rhodonite beads. And I have this strawberry quartz pendant. And I think both of these were from the latest bargain bead box, I think. I got my boxes mixed up. My bargain bead box is mixed up. But I think these were both from the latest bargain bead box. And I've got some bead caps from my stash. I've got a lobster clasp that I got from Beebeecraft. I've got some 6 millimeter jump rings, one 8 millimeter jump ring, one of the rhodonite beads, and a ball head pin that I'm going to put that on and hang off this extender chain I've got here as a dangle. And I've got a link that I had in my stash that I'm going to use. I've got some pieces of 22 gauge German style wire. This is what I'm using for my earrings. I've got 2 of the barrel beads, 2 of the rhodonite beads, 4 bead caps, a couple of ball head pins, a couple of pieces of the 22 gauge wire, and a couple of ear wires. I think that's everything that's in there. I'll be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, the crimping pliers that I use to tuck in burrs when I cut off wire, and the cutters that I use for craft wire and head pins and eye pins. And I have my little Norley shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. I'll put links to all these Beebeecraft products that I'm using in the description box below, and everything else I can find links for. I'll put those in the description box below too. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, this is my half of my necklace that I've already got done, and as you can see it's quite long, which is why I'm not putting any chain on it other than that extender chain. It's not going to need any, it's going to be long enough. So I'm going to make another strip just like this one. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's long, but I'm starting out with a rondelle bead, and I'm just going to do some wire wrap links here. So these little pieces of wire are about 3 inches each. So I'm going to go down about 1 inch, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, my round nose pliers, and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Like that. And that stands this little piece of wire straight up. Now I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down. I'm going to wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. And I'm going to take one of my rondelle beads, put it on here. And I'm going to take my pliers and go to the very tip of the pliers because I don't want a very long neck. I'm I'm going to bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. I kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. And that's made my little wire go this way. Usually stands it straight up. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Now I'm going to take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. I'm just going to wrap till there's no more room to wrap, which is usually 3 times. That's why I go to the very tip of the pliers, because that gives me 3 wraps on this side, just like my 3 wraps on the first side. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. And then I use these crimping pliers, the little half circles at each end, to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. And I wait till I get the whole length made before I tuck in my burrs, because it's just helpful for me if I have that bead to brace against. So next I'm going to do a barrel bead. I'm going to go by this strip and make it just the same. So I'm going to take another piece of wire, take my pliers, go down about 1 inch, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to take my pliers and open my loop. And thread on the little link I've already made here. I need to open it more than that. Now I'm going to close my loop. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, take this wire down, bend it around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I'm doing a barrel bead this time, and I'm going to put bead caps around my barrel beads. So I'm going to put a bead cap, a barrel bead, and another bead cap. Straighten everything up down here. Now I'm going to take my pliers and go to the very tip of the pliers. I need to turn around here, make my loop go in the same way. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Cut off my extra wire. And then take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get a strip made just like this one. So I've got a rondelle and a barrel bead, another rondelle, one of my 6mm rhodonite beads, a barrel bead, a 6mm rhodonite bead, rondelle, barrel bead, rondelle, 6mm rhodonite bead, barrel bead, 6mm rhodonite bead, and then a rondelle, barrel bead, rondelle. So I'm gonna keep going and make another strip just like this one, and then when I come back we'll put it all together. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got both sides of my necklace made now, my very long necklace. So now I'm going to put it together. So I've got my link here. The gold in my link does not exactly match my other gold, but I'm hoping it'll all blend. It's just so hard to get golds that match. There's so many different shades. So I've got a 6mm jump ring. I'm going to open it up. And put my pendant on here. And put it on my link. Close my jump ring back really well. I'll try my flat nose pliers and see if I can open these jump rings better with it. These are really thick. I believe they're 16 gauge that I got by mistake when I meant to get 18 gauge. They're pretty hard to open, but maybe I can open them better with my flat nose pliers. Now I'm going to open another one and put on one side of my necklace and my link. I need to open it a little bit more. Close it back up really well. Now I'm going to take another 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Put it on my link, the other side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back really well. So there's my pendant. Now I'm going to go up here and take another 6mm jump ring. And put my lobster clasp on. And put it on this side of my necklace. And then I have an 8mm jump ring. Put it on this side of my necklace with my little piece of extender chain that I think is probably about 2 inches. And I'm going to close my jump ring back really well. So that's what I've got now. Now I'm going to make a little dangle to go off my extender chain. I've got a ball head pin and my little rhodonite bead. Go to the tip of the pliers, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my pliers and open my loop. Thread on my extender chain. Close my loop back. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap until there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burr. There's my dangle, and there's my very long necklace. So hold on, I'll get my earring and I'll make a little earring, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to make a little earring now. So I've got a ball head pin, and I'm going to do a bead cap, a barrel bead, and a bead cap. Take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. My bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Well, I got that wrapped pretty tight. It's not wanting to cut. I think I'm trying to cut my bead cap instead of the wire. Now I'm going to take my crimping pliers, tuck in my little burr. Now I'm going to take my piece of 22 gauge wire, go down about an inch, bend the wire over to a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. I'm going to take my pliers and open my loop. Thread on my little dangle that I've made here. Close my loop back. My bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Wrap it around the long piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Take my little rhodonite bead and put it on here. Take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. My crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. I'm just going to open my ear wire and thread on my little earring. So there's my earring. So I'm going to make the other one off camera, and then when I come back I'll try to have it all laid out. So I'll be back. Okay, there is my very long necklace and pair of earrings made with some of the beads that I have gotten from Beebeecraft. Like I said, I will put a link in the description box below to the Beebeecraft homepage, and that coupon code will save you 10% off your order if you make an order with them. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.